Hey, AFTERBUZZ TV fans, tune in now for the Shooter episode recap. This is Season 1, Episode 3.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, we are going to be talking about Musa Quala this episode. Great episode, Episode 3 of Shooter. What'd you guys think? We've got a full panel now, finally.
Yes, I'm so glad.
Third time is a charm. Desola, start us off. Where can the people find you?
You can find me at Desola B, D-A-Y-S-H-O-L-A-B, at every social network possible. Instagram, Snapchat. I love Snapchat though, so try that and Instagram. Yeah.
Hey you guys, my name is Mariann Shaginian. You guys can find me at all socials at Mariann_Shag.
Awesome. And I'm JB. You guys can find me at Hey John Blake on all the interwebs as well. Great song, by the way.
I was gonna say, can we shout out?
We will.
Jordan Max. Right?
Jordan Max.
Yes.
This song was in the
Amazing.
episode. I don't know if you guys heard it. It was playing near the end. But I mean, just a kind of a general note for the show. I really like the music they have kind of playing. It's such an action-packed show. It's sort of hard to like sit back and enjoy the small things. But I think that's one of the subtle things they do very well. Mark Wahlberg, who's an EP on the show, was obviously in the movie that preceded this, was an EP of Entourage as well. And I think that's another show that they really paid attention to the music. It can be sort of a small thing for most people. Like they don't really
but
realize
we're talking
it.
about
We
it,
are.
though. Like
We're bringing it up.
whoever is
Jordan
in charge
Max,
of music.
totally.
Great job.
Nailed it. But yeah, great episode. Very action-packed. A lot of twists and turns.
So many.
But yeah, great episode. We'll start sort of at the beginning. He's getting supplies. Bob Lee is getting supplies at a local shop. Obviously, he's kind of a fugitive on the run. So his image is places.
Yes.
He's been on the newspaper. Runs into Doris and Joe. Joe not having any of that. Pulls a shoddy out on Bob Lee.
Yeah, but Bob Lee knows what's gonna happen. It's
Right.
like we spoke about this on the first episode. He foresees everything. He's like, you think you know me, but you don't.
Yeah.
Like he is so good. So he knew that the guy was gonna do that. He's like, are you alone? Yes. And then what's his name again? The guy?
Joe.
What, Joe? The
Then
shotgun
Joe's
guy?
just standing behind him. He's like, really, Joe? You can shoot me, but Doris is gonna die too. So
Yeah.
he's such a G. That was the first note I wrote. I said, swagger. I don't know if you can see this. Swagger is such a G because he is.
No, I have a similar note. I wrote swagger, savage.
See how
He is.
Good
man.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I
we're
mean,
obviously
I don't
picking up
think
the
he
same
can,
stuff.
you can't really blame him. You can't really blame Joe for having the shotgun. But
Of course.
I also,
True.
at the same time, I feel like Bob Lee knows that people are afraid of him. There's a reason to be afraid of him.
Right.
Because of this whole conspiracy with whatever's going on. So it's a give and take. He knows that's why he's on the defense. But at the same time, if he was going to really hurt these people, he would have hurt them.
I mean, he's
True.
not out to hurt anyone,
True.
I don't think.
Yeah, and I think that his whole process is very methodical. He was so calm in that whole thing. I mean, I would probably have peed my pants
That's
if
what I'm
I
saying.
was
I would've freaked out.
getting a shotgun pulled up on me.
But he's been through so much, though.
Right.
So
I mean, yeah,
he's
it's
been trained.
Not
I
his first rodeo,
Can
clearly.
I just say he literally looked at them? He's like, now sit down and I'm going to go type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
he literally told him to sit and he
said,
left.
Yeah, he's like,
Shotgun's
Joe,
gonna be at the door."
your gun's gonna be at the
He's
door,
like,
Joe. Sit down.
I love him. He's
Well, yeah, I
great.
mean, obviously he knows that Joe's just trying to look out for his own safety,
Yeah.
and he would I think anyone in that position, thinking that there's an actual
Of course.
fugitive in their store, with their wife, would be a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
See, but I mean, the problem is these people always have to be heroes. Like, you don't always have to be. If it was me and I was working at the store, I'm like, there you go, Bosley. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Do you need anything else? I got you, because I'm not called.
True,
I don't
true.
care. Do what you
Yeah,
need to
and
do.
I think,
You know?
most people would do that. And I think an example is when he, near the end of the episode, kind of pops into the other convenience store and just grabs a Gatorade. He's very calm still, but that's the clerk lady didn't really say anything. Obviously, you can kind of tell she's a little bit
She called,
afraid.
though.
But I mean, when they were talking to each other, she didn't
Would you
pull
call?
out her gun. If I was a store clerk,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It depends the situation.
Well, okay, the situation is that there's a fugitive on the loose who killed the
True.
who tried
We
to
do
kill
know
the
the situation.
president. So I'm saying,
in her, I don't know. I might. I might try to pull a Joe. I don't know if I would shoot him.
No,
I
mean
think it
if
would be more
just
like
in the beginning. Not if it wouldn't have gotten that far. Like I
Right.
feel like if he just walked up and like bought something and walked out, would you call the cops on him? That's what I mean.
I mean, I think it'd be irresponsible not to. If you
Yeah.
if you recognize the person, if
Yeah.
like you see like everything in the news has painted this guy out to be a murderer.
Yes,
like
that makes
if you
sense.
like
And they're not watching the show.
They're not gonna like not call in on the off chance that
Yeah.
he was set up by like this whole government conspiracy.
You know, I'd be
obviously
irresponsible.
we know better.
I'm
We
not
do know better.
calling. No, 'cause he's gonna know it was me. And what if he comes back for me? No, I'm
That's
not
true.
doing it. No,
That's true. So you're just gonna let that go.
Probably.
I mean,
He didn't try to kill
I don't know
me.
if you're doing your civic duty.
He didn't try to
Right
kill
there.
me, so I'm okay. And he did not kill the American
not
president. He killed
yet.
the Ukrainian
Not
one.
yet. You don't know. He could be. He's on the loose.
Which is why if I
Loose
called him,
cannon.
he's gonna say, "Oh, it was they show at the store. It was him."
Well, yeah. Again, two sides to every story. We know the other side, so there's a lot of sympathy there. But I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of tragic things that happen in the media. People getting killed. There, like for instance, I think one of the most recent things is a guy was stabbing people. Like he drove
Like
his
2 days
car.
ago.
Yeah,
Yesterday,
a couple
actually.
days ago. Yeah. So
So
if you
annoying.
saw that guy, like you're at a store, you see like you're staring at the newspaper all day with this dude's face on it. He walks in, you're not gonna like call and say something.
I'm like, "Hey man, how you doing today? We just got these new nachos in. They're great."
Yeah, just
yeah,
try the
those
Slurpee
Goodbye.
machine.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
Great new
upsell him
flavor.
the most and tell him to leave.
Berry
yes.
cola.
I probably would call
Delicious.
after he left if it was very current.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
okay.
no,
So I'm not a bad guy, you
it's
guys.
pretty current. I don't think he's been on the run as much. I mean, we've been experienced. This is like our third week
Yeah,
of the show,
so I feel like it's been a long
has
time.
been going slower, but he's on the loose, and it's kind of a big deal. Like he's because he obviously didn't kill the president, as we know, but he killed a very high up government official. I think that's a little
Killed.
bit right. Yeah,
Well, he
allegedly,
did kill a president.
allegedly.
Just not our president.
Yes, he killed a president, Ukrainian. I
Yes.
believe.
Ukrainian.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which we
Yes.
learned that today because I thought it was the Russian president at first. Or was I the only one that thought that?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, Russians are definitely involved. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of Russian.
But I
talk.
thought it was I remember I wasn't paying attention.
The only
Yeah.
reason I knew it wasn't the Russian because last week Alex was Russian and he was proud that like he was talking about it like, oh, you killed the Ukrainian
Oh
president.
yeah,
That's
okay.
Right.
By the way, she said Alex was Russian last week. So this week he was not Russian.
Yeah, he's not
Just
Russian.
last week he was Russian. Okay.
Well, no. I mean, we definitely see like Bob Lee makes the call to his people and kind of figures out some backstory. I love this episode because there's a lot of breadcrumbs that kind of build to the end finale. Obviously set up as we'll get to. But I love he's just kind of as he's figuring it out, he's kind of just toying with people in a way. Like he lets them know certain things. He shows them certain cards, but like he is obviously making a master plan behind the scenes.
He's becoming more confident.
Right.
I feel like he's like, okay. He thought it out. He thought it out, of course.
Absolutely.
But he's becoming so
Absolutely.
much more confident because he's like letting people know what is actually going on. Because remember I said, why is he not telling on Johnson? Why is he not telling? But I guess he was waiting on the right time.
Right.
And
he
now
was.
and finding the person he could actually trust.
Which now he told Memphis the name
Right.
for Johnson.
Yes.
No, exactly. And yeah, he's been, I mean, knowing who Isaac Johnson is, like, and wanting to figure it out, like, I think he was trying to, like, figure out the fastest way to get the objective done, not necessarily the ones that, I mean, he obviously wanted to snipe him right away.
I
Like,
wish he would have just-
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
why couldn't he have just shot his finger off? You know,
He could have. He
like
could have.
just to add a little something. You know, he shot out the phone.
He
He could have
did.
at least gotten
He
a little
did.
nub. You know, he
could've.
deserves that.
Yeah, he could have given him, like, a flesh wound. At the same time, I think if he actually, like, physically hurt
that
him,
makes him worse,
it
yeah.
would.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, we can say, like, I think he's definitely painted as a very moral person, which is definitely part of it. But I think another reason might be if he did hurt him or maim him in some way, that it would light up a fire. Like,
Of course,
he is
it
at
would.
fault.
No,
he
it
did
would.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
and
They would say he's a violent criminal.
And
Yeah.
I think it would escalate things too much. Like, Isaac would be super pissed off and probably like pull like way more resources to get this handled. Obviously it would make much more of like a media crisis thing,
Yeah.
like sniper out on the loose.
I
You're
mean,
right.
Also, if he did that, like right after that scene, what Isaac went into the FBI and he was having like that meeting, right? So he He like basically he already explained to them. He called him like unstable, desperate, delusional. So imagine him getting his finger shot off on top of that.
Yeah.
Like it would have been a mess.
See, I'm just thinking, there's just the anger in my mind. You know, I don't even care about the
You're so
consequences.
impulsive,
Yeah,
Desola.
you know. And can I just say, while I was watching this, I wrote a note, and I was really kind of mad about it. I said, JB is really good at guessing, and I hate it. Ha ha ha. Because he keeps getting all of the guesses right. So I'll guess everything. Oh yeah, this is what this is gonna happen, and then he'll say something, and it'll happen, and I'm just like, that's cool. Whatever. Like. I mean, I didn't think that at all, because you got it again with the you said he was in the beginning. You said Johnson was going to be at fault.
Right.
I didn't agree. He was at fault. I thought that Johnson or Payne were going to be in Memphis's house. You said it was going to be Bob Lee.
Right.
It was Bob Lee. Whatever. You know, he's just lucky guesses, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I can happily talk about how right I am all day. That being said, I was a big fan of the movie, and you know I've seen that many times, but it's very cool to see how the show is similar but very different. I think it's much more different in good ways, and in terms of like not making the storyline go astray, but more making it more in depth and intricate. So I think that's really cool. You know, they use elements of you know, things they use in the movie and kind of this overarching conspiracy, but like the characters are different, they're deeper, they're much more nuanced, and they go back so far. Like, it's crazy to think that this guy Isaac Johnson, who, you know, like, they were old buddies. Like that, I think in the last episode he finds that photo of Bob Lee, his former partner that he lost, Donnie, and Isaac, and it was like just the three of them. Like they would hang out. Like they go way back.
But can I just say, last episode he's all like, we're not friends. I got really upset about that. But in this episode,
yes,
I got very upset.
We spoke about that. She's like, one of my friends would upset that about me.
Just
But then in this
No.
episode, Payne was all like, weren't you guys friends at one time? And he was like, once. So now he's kind of.
Well, yeah, I think when the cat's out of the bag about all the betrayal and the backstabbing and the framing to kill someone, you kind of lose friendship.
Yeah.
And I do like how Isaac kind of acknowledged that. Like, you know, it was half pep talk to like these guys who were trying to get him, and he was trying to like get on the same page about the situation, which is definitely red status. But it was cool to see him admit. He was like, yeah, I totally screwed this guy over. Like, we were friends.
I am a douche.
I betrayed him.
Come on, who
And
doesn't know that?
didn't Bob Lee save him when they were out?
They did.
And
I
he
mean,
says-
it's like, how can you do that?
And
to them?
no, remember he said, "Oh, but you went against my orders."
Yeah, but I saved your life.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's
Such a douche. This show is full of douches. Except Bobby's like the only one that isn't, and his wife.
And
Yeah, his wife. We might have different opinions about his daughter.
You know,
we know you hate kids.
No,
We know you hate kids.
I kind of do. That's true. I do. But no, his daughter, she was okay this episode. I mean, the first episode,
Right.
she was just too aggressive. Like they gave her
Fair
too
enough.
many lines. Like she should have been in the background.
just piped.
Yeah, like please. But this episode was okay. I kind of felt for her. She said, "Is Daddy dead?" And Mom's like, "Oh, you know." So it was okay. It was okay. Can I say
difficult
one
question for
thing?
Mom to answer.
Every episode so far, I've had an MVP. I'm like, the real MVP is.
Yeah.
And I feel like the real MVP of this episode was the wife, Julie. I think she was the real MVP. What do you think?
Okay. Let's dive into that. I think she did very well. You know, the whole supermarket scene. I love how she was giving attitude to the FBI guys, because I mean, who
You
doesn't
couldn't wait,
want to
could
like give the finger to authority every now and again? Because
Yes.
you know, when it turns into that classic, like they're totally going over the line. I like to see a little
Attitude.
yeah,
She has that little
feistiness.
sassiness
She
going.
did. She did well at it.
Yeah, and then, you know, when they kind of bust in, again, breaking down barriers, that is so not okay. Like, she was
Yeah.
in the bathroom.
She could have actually been using it.
Yeah, like that. Pretty
I wish she
inappropriate
would
for
have
them to just, like, bust
pulled her
in the
pants
bathroom.
down or something just to make them feel
Yeah.
like they like did some violated her, you know?
Right.
Like prior to them coming
She's
in.
like, you couldn't resist. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that they definitely deserved the attitude,
Yeah.
and I think that she was very cool about the whole thing. She definitely let the whole Timmons thing in the elevator with Memphis that was pretty sleek. I mean, she didn't like say more than she needed to, because she could have like spoon fed it to her. She knew that what Bobby had said to her, like that he wasn't there. She could have said that.
She's just good.
She was just like, damn it.
She's good. Like I mean, maybe he's trained her like in that lifestyle very well, saying like, if this happens, if that happens, do this.
Glad you brought that up, because I almost forgot. Like a quick thing happened in their conversation. He was like, yeah, how many people did you see? And she's like, 4, 2 inside, 2 outside. And he's like, wrong. There's 4 outside. You missed one. So it's just a cool like window into their relationship. Obviously, he had been, teaching his family all along and kind of playfully testing, but it just shows like his level of awareness is just next level,
out of the world.
Yeah,
it really is out of this world, because when she gave him up or gave up the location, I was like, oh my god, why did she do that? But then I'm thinking, she knows what she's doing, and I'm sure that's why he set everything up the way he did, because he knew that they were gonna go to her, blah 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 blah, and it was great.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Sorry,
he is like so many moves ahead. It's awesome, and that's why I love to watch all this play out. Is because things like Timmons, obviously you can kind of see coming further down the line. Like that okay, we're gonna follow this trail. But the whole like the big Ron situation, I was like, what? Like is that like we didn't even see what it was. It was a box and there's like a serial number mentioned, but it's kind of
it didn't give you enough to know until the end of why it was given to him.
Exactly, and it was all sort of.
I didn't even catch it. You caught it, right?
Yeah.
I almost had to go back.
I was like, wait, what happened there? But it
just worked out.
Very cool. I mean, that's and kind of figure out at the end that's how he gets this titanium hip to plant on his body. Spoiler alert.
If you didn't get to the end yet. And speaking of Timmons, since you brought him up a few times.
Yeah.
Gosh, such the classic. And this is like my favorite word on the show, I feel like, but classic douche. All these people, like of course he's going to be at the bar. Yeah, and then I just shot him and da-da-da. And like, come on, man. Yeah. And that's what ended up getting him killed. I mean, he was probably going to die anyways, but still, like, so annoying.
They set him up too, though.
They did.
They set him because they said, "Oh, you have a past of depression."
Depression. Of course, they knew what they were doing. That's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he deserved it.
Did he though? I mean, obviously
he did. Why would he?
He went along with this conspiracy cover up.
To kill someone else, and he missed it. Please.
Fair enough.
I just felt like his cockiness was a little too much.
That was his down.
About like, his hero. Like, I'm the hero. I'm the hero.
Right.
And I feel like obviously I don't think he deserved to die, especially in that way, because he even said himself like, I'm not gonna give it up, I'm not gonna say anything, but I just felt he could have played a little.
He had the best almost last words. What are they gonna do? I'm an effing hero.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, like they're not gonna believe you, which. I mean, that's a little weird too. Like, why would he shoot himself all of a sudden?
Yeah, no, I was definitely thinking that, and I was glad that he brought that up, because you'd think, obviously, this situation is spiraling out of control. Yeah. Like the hero cop ends up killing himself like days after.
But like they said, they chose him because of the depression.
Exactly.
So then someone who like studies depression, they're going to say something like, I'm going to assume. Oh, well, the pressure of all the pressure of the media and everything got to him, blah, 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 and he kills himself.
No, 100%. I mean, they definitely knew what they were doing, and I love that they kind of covered those tracks, because it is, I think for us viewers, like it's a very smart show that they kind of anticipated our own questions, because I was like thinking that whole thing. I was like, if they kill him, it's
and a lot of our questions,
pretty telltale signs, conspiracy.
A lot of our questions have been answered, like from the first episode and the second. Remember, on the first episode, we were saying, did he take his phone? Did he take Alex's phone?
Right.
And he used the phone in this episode. They actually showed it.
Yeah.
And I just had to point that out.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it. We were like, what happened to the phone? Like, did he steal it? Because remember when
he like hit it.
Yeah, and then we didn't know what happened, but they actually showed it today. Did you notice it or no?
I didn't. But
you didn't? Okay.
Well, there's a lot going on. So no,
they showed the phone.
It takes multiple viewings, multiple eyes. I'm glad you caught that though, because it's a cool. Again, the attention to detail is so high, and I love that like this show does that, because it makes it enjoyable to watch like again and again. It's a simple concept, but like conspiracy shows, like it can get procedural. A lot of these shows that are on the air now are just kind of like case of the week. But this is cool because it's like it is one story, but there's so many different things that are happening all at the same time. I mean, just like how he got away from the Big Ron situation. Like when he was going down the elevator, there was a shot like looking at him through the glass,
And Ron was,
and
like,
you could
talking to
see
the cops.
the cops like running because they heard about the situation.
Ron was there too, by the way.
Right.
And he like ran opposite of the cops after speaking to them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he got up there so fast, but whatever. You know, it happens.
Yeah, but it was just cool, like the cool wave of storytelling, kind of
Yeah.
with subtleties and stuff like that. Where they're, you know, we're so multifaceted in this day and age with all the social media stuff and phones, and so we're all always multitasking. So it's cool that they're like using that,
And
and
thinking
there's
about
like
everything.
there's other layers happening, like kind of unraveling all at the same time.
I mean, they're very brave in this. I saw you. You looked very nervous. Let me say, in the part when he went to the cops and was like, "I have a counseling appointment." Your face
yeah.
was very like,
Yep.
and I was looking and I was like laughing, like, "Oh, okay," like they're all into it. And it's things like that is crazy because we know it's a show, we know they're acting, but I love that we still get nervous, like, "Oh my god, like is he really
It's
doing this? What's gonna
believable.
happen?" You know? And it was good. I liked that part.
Yeah, it was, and it kind of all adds up when one line that scene reminded me of when Isaac was kind of briefing everybody. He was like, he's a pro at hiding in plain sight, and that's exactly what he was doing. He kind of went. He knew that there's a checkpoint, but he goes up to the cops to talk to them for like a while to be like, you know,
I would have been freaking
Casual.
out.
yeah, exactly. It'd
I
be
mean,
so
like-
casual.
But he knew they would shoot him away. Like, okay, get out of my
Yeah,
place.
like if I was someone trying to run away, I wouldn't approach the cops.
Yeah.
exactly.
if I'm
Probably
doing it,
like,
they're like- they're probably-
slink back.
But these
Yeah.
shows give us good
Slowly
ideas. I
burst
wonder
out
if
the
they'll
way.
really work in real life. Like every
They
time
might.
I see them, I'm like, okay, I wonder if I can really do this. I mean, I'm not a fugitive or anything, and I probably will never be. But I'm just saying, at least we are learning things that we might be able to use in the
Yeah,
future.
should the case arise
Yeah,
where, hey,
I'm just
sometimes you gotta
saying.
go on the run.
Yeah,
I get it.
you
You,
know?
gotta go on the lam, you gotta go on the lam. Whatever. You know, it's a thing.
Pay attention, you guys. You might learn something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taking notes. Just
Useful.
I do all. I'm just saying.
Approach cops.
Breaking Bad. Are you
motorcycle.
kidding me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, Walter White
Yeah.
is. I mean, but it's similar. Like he again had so many moves for like far in advance.
and
planned.
they have you thinking like, oh my god, I could do that. Not really,
It's
but
a
I
chess
can.
game, people.
I'm
It's a
just
chess
saying.
No, I mean, and that's what's cool because he, you know, for Marines, again, a lot of times when they're portrayed in TV and movies, they're kind of grunts. They're just like infantry people that are war heroes and they're only good for like their physical strength and ability to kill people. But I love how smart they're making Bob Lee.
His
Yeah.
mind is incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible. Can I just say something?
go for it.
I hate Memphis's boss still. Let me tell you why. He really just irritated me this episode again. And I mean, I guess I have my like people that I just don't like altogether. You know, like my few people that just annoy me.
Yeah.
And he just annoys me because it's like from the first episode he was so rude to her, and then the second episode he like tried to turn his mistake on her, and now the third episode he's like, she walks out, "Good job, Memphis." Like, get out of here. Like, come on. Good job for getting Julia on your side. I'm like,
Yeah.
we don't need him in the show anymore. He's so annoying. I don't like him.
But I mean,
I'm
about
sorry.
that character, do you think he's in on this conspiracy? at
I don't
all?
think so anymore. I thought that in the first
You did.
episode. Now I
Yeah.
don't. What do you think?
Same.
I
I
don't
thought
think so.
you don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it seemed that way because he was being such a d-bag,
Yeah.
like, to be honest, to his subordinates. Like, a boss should not be that unpleasant to his
Ever.
employees. Like, there's just no call for that. And so, yeah, I was like, she shouldn't be needlessly that,
Like
ridiculous.
there has to be a reason
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that.
But the fact that, you know, everything that he was doing with Isaac Johnson and how, like, Isaac obviously wants to keep this close to the chest. I think it's just him, Meacham, you know, who wasn't in this episode, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was.
And the other
Payne.
cop, Payne, yes.
Payne.
Payne, thank you.
Payne was in this episode.
Yeah, Payne was in it a lot. It's interesting to see actually a sort of a rivalry, kind of,
With
Payne
Isaac
and
and Payne.
Johnson.
Isaac and
Yeah.
Payne. Yeah,
It's a
Like
tug,
I'm
like,
glad you said that
constantly.
because now it has me thinking, is Payne gonna turn on Johnson? You know.
probably. I
Like,
mean, it's
or-
definitely leading up to that. They're
I
playing.
feel like Johnson's gonna frame him or something
Right.
else is gonna happen, and they're gonna like just blackmail each other.
Yeah, well, in the last episode, kind of recap, when it was showing them in the shooting range, there was definitely like a struggle for power between them, and Isaac was like, "You might get your checks from somewhere else, but you work for me." Like,
Yeah.
definitely setting the tone, but you know, obviously, Payne is kind of going above rank.
Well, yeah, and this one also he met with Meacham, and then Isaac even asked him, "Oh, what did he talk about and stuff?" And then they started going back and forth of who's to blame, because
Right.
Isaac's like, "Well, you missed the shot," but then Payne tried flipping it back on him. So there's this
You hired
tension
him.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Or
there's a
you wanted him
tension
to do it,
there
yeah.
of like authority and who's in charge and who has to listen to who. So I feel like there's gonna be a lot of
Absolutely.
problems.
Yes,
Absolutely.
But obviously Meacham is like the real boss, and
Yeah,
Meacham is,
exactly.
Remember last week I was like, "What is this guy's name? We have no idea who."
Yo,
what his
Thomas
name is."
Sizemore, the actor.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I didn't know his name even on the show. Meacham,
okay.
I didn't know that
Meacham,
was his
yeah.
name. But remember when I was
Yeah,
saying, "Who is
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy?" But now I need to find out what is Meacham's. What did he have against? I guess he has nothing against Bob Lee because Isaac chose him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what does Meacham have against the Ukrainian president? Like, it's all this stuff, you know. But his name is
Good
Meacham,
question.
so I'm assuming he might be from another country. I don't know.
He might be Russian.
Maybe he could be on the Russian side. I mean, everything that happened in the conversation between Bob Lee and Memphis when he kind of breaks into her house and obviously like cases the place. So
Yeah.
just to make it for his own safety, finding the guns and everything, he noted that he was like, this had to be orchestrated from very high up people on both sides, like Russian and U.S., because it's like a heavily orchestrated conspiracy. Like it doesn't just happen. So. I mean, I'm curious to see what Meacham's background is. Who maybe he's got a boss, but I love how kind of messy it's getting. Like the seams are definitely coming undone,
Yeah.
and I think
I'm thinking.
they've been painting that a lot. We were just talking about the Payne Isaac dynamic and kind of how there's a power struggle there. I think it's really getting out of hand because Isaac, who is used to control, he's used to like a military structure of like this is rank. You know, Payne is really going outside of that, and I think it goes to show that they are outside of the law right now. Like there isn't really
They're bad.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Cops.
they're all, you know, crooked, but it's also like this isn't the army. Like there's no system in place. Like you are.
There's no structure. It's
Exactly.
all over the place right now.
Yeah, and how, you know, I think one of the last conversations Payne and Isaac had was, you know, when they were going into the woods after this whole trap set up by Bob Lee. He was like, dude, this is a kill zone. Like, you can go. I am not.
He
I am
just
pulling
left.
out.
He's like, so roll out. Like, let's
Yeah,
go.
and so like I mean that's obviously
Roll out.
if you were ordered
Roll
in
out.
to a dangerous situation, you know, Isaac being a high up in the military has
He'd have
definitely
had to-
ordered people
yeah.
into like those danger zones many
That's
times.
interesting.
You know, like and that you can't just be like, actually
Yeah,
it doesn't look good.
So what you're
Not
saying is
feeling
he's so
it.
used
I'm
to
out.
having power and people are like actually listening to him,
Right.
but now that people are revolting against him, he might not know how to handle it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
So,
exactly.
which might be his downfall in the long run. Which
I
I'm
think
waiting
it's
for his
going to be.
downfall because I don't like him either. But okay, so speaking,
He's
okay,
definitely on the hit list. He's a
I
bona
like
fide
hate
bad guy.
everyone, but Meacham. Okay, Meacham. I feel like Meacham is gonna have some type of connection with Alex, because remember I was like Alex. There's no something. There's something with Alex. You know, his cellmate. Meacham and Alex. I feel like there's gonna be like when they have like a recap of who Meacham is.
Right.
Alex is gonna be like right there in the corner.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I think you
Possibly.
don't think I think they're
Yeah,
gonna be
I get-
connected. I feel it.
I
I
can
could be
see that.
wrong
I can see
because
that.
obviously everything I've guessed so far has been wrong, but I'm hoping that I'll get something right at least. So yeah.
It's bound to happen sooner
I
or
hope
later
so.
for
That's
you.
good, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, who was surprised about I don't know her name, but
Casper?
is that the number Alex gave?
Yeah.
Who was surprised that she
Yes.
was a lady?
A lady, yeah. I was definitely surprised. I thought for a while she was just kind of like a someone like a
Like a secretary.
Yeah, like just
yeah,
someone
like a
at the
secretary
bar.
or like
It's
you
a
know like
bar, right?
someone who like knew as much information, but like just
Yeah.
you know you had to like stay a step behind.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. Like again, like hiding in plain sight, like you last person you'd expect.
Like,
Exactly.
and she even said, "Well, this is that person," and I
Right.
was like, "Okay." Like she
I
had that
see
sense
you.
of authority.
Yeah.
I mean, it also was pretty like I found it really cool how like she was like, "This is my price to get your family out of there." I mean,
Yeah.
as a female and having that authority in this entire situation, it was pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. Hero discount still 100
100,000.
grand.
Oh my.
Even.
Where's he gonna get this
Even.
money?
Is that the Black Friday discount? Maybe Cyber
Cyber
Tuesday.
Monday,
Tuesday.
Cyber Tuesday. Where's he gonna get the money?
Good question.
I mean, I want to hear what you think because it's probably gonna happen. Because
I mean, he's obviously gonna chase down the conspiracy. Maybe he can get the money that way. But like, I have a hard time believing that he would extort something to get that money. I think that.
Well, I think he's gonna have. He has all these avenues of things that he's had like Donnie's mom. We never knew that was gonna come.
Right.
And all these random things. So I feel like he's gonna have like a stash or I don't know.
Unless it's just an option, but he never actually goes through with it.
Yeah.
Like
That could definitely be a possibility. I think between maybe it being like an option that he just threatens, but never actually goes through with like the payment and everything, is one. Like I either think that or he will like repay it in kind some way. Like I don't think he's not gonna rob a bank.
I think he's gonna try to do it,
but.
And I think they're gonna like start the process of them like doing it, and they're gonna like catch them. Like Johnson is gonna catch like his wife and daughter, and
maybe like setting it up, like letting them
or something. I don't know.
see,
You know?
Yeah.
I could see.
Interesting.
I can see it.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like Johnson would do something like that in the end, though.
Yeah.
Like hold them hostage or threaten the family in some way, even though he specifically said, I don't want anything to happen to your daughter and your wife. I feel like at some point
Just
he
like
might
he didn't
get
want anything
like,
to happen to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's what he meant. I have no sympathy for Isaac
No,
at all.
come on.
And I think he only said that because he knows that it would, like, he'll be killed. Like, Bobby was like, dude,
Immediately,
if
like-
anything happens to them, you're dead.
Yeah,
Like, in a second.
literally.
Like,
You're dead.
it was pretty badass how he was just like,
he's
dude.
badass in the entire show.
not
Are
gonna
you
happen.
kidding me?
Yeah.
I wish I could be like that.
Well, yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's cool kind of to put him in that position, like, dude, you know what I can do. I can, like, literally snipe the phone out of your hands at any time. I can find you anywhere. Like, the element of fear that he's using is so cool. And it's great to see a good guy be able to use that. Because, I mean, Breaking Bad's a good example, but he was also, like, on the bad side of the law.
Yeah, he was
definitely,
he was...
cooking drugs for everybody. This is cool because it's like he is doing it he's like completely just, and it's just like the ultimate vengeance to see. And it was great to see like how good he really is. You know, making one of the quotes Isaac said was like, "This is our worst case scenario right now. Like he should have been dead. He's alive. If he survives for long enough, he's gonna kill us all and make us all pay." Which is true. I hope to see that happen.
Okay, so what do you guys think Payne put under the pew at church?
That's what
Good.
I was gonna ask.
The
Yeah,
USB.
I
I wonder.
I thought
and
it was is that a USB? I thought it was like a GPS or something.
I think it was like a USB thumb drive.
What do you think
But I
it
mean, could have
was?
had coordinates on it. Definitely info. And I think it kind of all trickles back to the power struggle between him and Isaac, because he like nonchalantly mentioned like, "Hey man, have you ever been to a church lately?" And he's like, "Why?" Like he didn't know anything about it. It's because I bet like all these drops are at a church.
And Isaac's just clueless about it.
Right. And so Payne now knows, like, okay, I'm further on the inside than you, so I'm actually above you now.
Power struggle. But see, power struggles, people, when they get into those, that's always the downfall. Trying to be the one to outdo the other person, you know? Like, just sit back. You've already done really bad things. Like,
Right.
I just
you don't
feel
need
like
to do anything else.
Yeah, like I feel like both of them have their own set of power in the sense that Payne has more communication, I guess, with Mitchum and stuff, but then there is Isaac who has more of a communication like relationship with Bob Lee.
Yes.
So they both have like a piece of puzzle missing on both sides.
Absolutely. And like, you know, he knows his family, he knew where to go, like he knew to like press her.
Exactly.
But at the same time, because he's been in the Secret Service and he's a little bit more high profile, I think that gives Payne, at least in like the Meacham world, an upper hand because
no one knows who he is.
Yeah, exactly. He's a ghost, pretty much. Like he's a no one. He's like not on anybody's radar. Isaac is like in the FBI office all day. Like
and it sucks. It
Everyone
sucks so
knows.
he's
much
got a
because
huge target on his back.
And like you were saying, or you guys were mentioning, I can't stand the fact that Isaac has an in on both sides. He has Memphis, Nadine, her boss, and he also has Payne. So it's like he can find information out at all times.
Right.
He always knows. But luckily Nadine is kind of on to him now.
Yeah,
so
Memphis
she's
is
kind
picking
of
up the pieces
yeah, like
a
when
little
she
bit.
asked him, she's like, "Oh, what happened to the author when you like, or the journalist? Like, have you spoken to her?"
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, "I see you, Nadine."
Yeah,
She's taking
she
like so much authority in this episode. I was like, yes.
Like girl power, yeah.
But then I also I guess it's also the fact that her boss wasn't a total ass to her either, so she had that little bit of footing to be able to do what she wanted to do.
Right. But I think she definitely did take the liberty of doing following up leads on her own. I mean, I really liked how she handled the Isaac information with this reporter. She played it very cool. She didn't push too far.
But then he realized what she did. Because he went back and said, I'll have someone...
She was sort of. I think she pulled back before it became too much.
No,
and
he realized, though. Didn't you see how...
Well, he's just on edge. I mean, he has to be because he knows
he wanted to cover himself.
Right.
Yeah, because at first he was like, oh, nothing. And then he's like, oh. And he walked back and said, I'll get someone to find the number for you.
Right, because I think he's trying to cover this all up. He knows he was just lying through his teeth, and so he's worried about it.
Yeah.
But I think that she played it well where she didn't tip him off too much, oh hey, I totally know that you're lying to me. I think he was just he's getting scared now, and she did the perfect amount of pressing. The first time when she was questioning Timmons, I think she showed a little bit too many of her cards too early. Obviously she was kind of getting the vibe from him that he was bullshitting, and she was just like, okay, I'm gonna call you out.
She begged him when he walked away.
Yeah,
I can help you. Come on, they're dangerous people. And I'm
exactly.
Calm down.
Yeah, I think she could have played coy a little bit longer and then gotten much more firm confirmation that it was. I mean, I think she just felt she saw where it was going and was just like, hey, I'm not gonna incriminate you. Just we can help. And
Obviously
she was
not. He should have taken that help.
Right.
Yeah.
He should
probably
have.
wouldn't have
But
been
yeah,
dead.
and then I think it was sort of to show the character's learning curve. Okay, that didn't work out. He's dead now. Whoops. Let me be a little bit more careful.
Okay, it wasn't her fault. It was
conspiracy.
his fault. I mean, he should have taken the help.
I mean, he should have. But
He probably still would have died.
conspiracy is pretty big. I think they would have got him regardless. Whether he deserved to die is up for debate. I don't think so. I keep going back to
He did deserve to die.
Well, I mean, he was not a nice person.
He deserved to die. He agreed. He was going.
He agreed.
He was going to.
True.
He remember he was supposed to be dead, right, Bob Lee?
Yeah.
Right.
So he agreed.
But he wasn't supposed to kill him. He wasn't.
Yeah,
even there.
but he was going to agree to be the person that said, "Oh yeah, I killed the guy,"
True.
and no, sorry, bye.
Well, yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
In my opinion, I'm just
do-
saying, you
I
want to
think-
get yourself wrapped up in it,
that's true.
then it happens.
That's very true.
Fair enough. I think you've convinced me. I think he's he got what he deserved. At the same time, I don't think the reasons they gave him were why. Because they were saying you were being talking it all up
Very
and
boastful.
being everywhere. I don't think that's why, and I think his point of I had to own it. If it was real, I would expect the cop to actually do that, to be like that, and kind of be at bars.
They were gonna kill him anyways. I feel like.
Yeah, no,
at some
exactly,
point,
exactly.
yeah.
I think they were
They
gonna
just
kill
needed
him.
an excuse to kill him, to tell him, I guess.
Totally. And yeah, I think they were always going to get rid of him. One
check the
thing,
live
I
chat.
think in episode 1, or maybe it was in last week's, but when Bob Lee was talking to Isaac in the interrogation room, he was like, "I know you guys don't use or keep loose ends. That's the first thing you guys get rid of. So I know what you're about to do.
Yeah.
And it's not good."
And I think that's how the whole I want my family to be
Yeah.
safe and protected comes up. But
Absolutely.
I really like the ending of this episode in the sense of how Bob Lee called Memphis and was like, "My life is in your hands at this point."
Yes.
They have an ally. He and his wife have a joint ally, which is so
Yeah.
good because now she can transfer messages and whatnot.
I was gonna say that
Yeah,
trust
fantastic.
is set at this point, which
Yeah.
I mean I guess we'll see more in the next episode if she actually keeps quiet or not. But I
She
feel like
is.
she will.
Yeah.
I feel her. She's gonna do it.
Because in the middle of the episode, she even said I'm beginning to believe him and
Right.
what he's saying. So I feel like she's putting pieces together a lot more now.
But when she came to the house, or when he went to her house, she couldn't let him know that she was 100%
Right.
kind of behind him.
Yeah.
So she was like, she said something.
Yeah.
Oh, if I believed you, but though we know that she believes him.
Dude, totally. Yeah, I know. Because they had planted all those scenes earlier,
Mm-hmm.
she was questioning everything and starting to believe him, but I love how she was playing hard to get in that scene, and then I think one tipping point was when he put her gun back on and there was no bullets in it, and it's
She's like, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like I mean,
Nice
if
guy.
he's gonna hurt her, he's gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
But,
Well, yeah, he's a Marine Scout
Yeah, let's
sniper.
be real.
He doesn't need a gun to take anyone down.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was cool how it's not like she was on the conspiracy bandwagon from day one. Like, she did take some convincing. She was kind of questioning, but still, sticking to her guns, and it's sort of slowly built. I mean, this is episode 3, and it's finally happening where she's like, okay, like I'm gonna follow up on some stuff and do my own due diligence, which is cool because obviously he set up the evidence board to be found in that cabin that he led them to. So
Oh, that's what it was. I didn't see it when she like looked down and looked at Johnson. Was that
yeah,
it?
so it was
You saw
all sort of the like news and paper clippings of the incident and all this stuff. So he didn't have like yarn drawn out like to like points to Isaac, this guy. But I think it's enough to just kind of show like inconsistencies,
Yeah.
or again just kind of fuel the fire of questioning it. Things not adding up. He said that he was the biggest piece of evidence that the conspiracy is real. Obviously he's still alive. She knows that, and so
Johnson knows that too. Could you guys not tell? I feel like he knows that he's not dead because he was standing there and like looking around, and I was thinking like he knows that something's not right
Well,
about
he was
it.
asking like, oh, what is there? Is there evidence, or we need to find like certain parts to make sure that it's human or
Right.
whatever.
I feel like
they found like because obviously the body exploded. Like it was pretty foobar.
Yeah.
But where are the legs and stuff? Like I was thinking about that, like legs, arms,
I
head.
think they just.
Like
Well, I mean, the bomb was pretty big. There was definitely like 0 pieces of body
mush.
fragment. But obviously he made sure to keep the titanium hip thing.
'Cause that wouldn't blow up, right?
Obviously the hair, so they could tie the DNA. And again, my DNA tracking knowledge is restricted to just like TV shows and movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that when you do test for that, like it's a number of connections. Like it's like how
certain
close it
amount,
is. It's
yeah.
not like this is like we found like the certified Bob Lee Swagger DNA. It's just like a number of
Like, here's some
similarities.
hair, here's,
So it's like if there's enough of their DNA there, it's just like
It's
it
them.
closes the loop. But again, I'm no scientist. Scientists out there, let us know if that's how it really
let
is.
us know.
But yeah, I think Isaac knowing how good Bob Lee actually is and seeing that setup where like the news board was like they're taking pictures of it is a little fishy. He's like, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, it's a little too easy. Like he takes one shot out of the window, like
He knew what he was doing. Okay, well,
Yeah.
it just didn't make. He sat there for a while. He's like, okay, I'm gonna like before
Right.
he shot at him, and he's looking, and then he just somehow shoots that thing. It's kind of like he knows. I feel like he knows Bob Lee too well to know that he would like give up that easy.
Exactly.
Like he knows he wouldn't kill himself.
He knows his history. Like, and he was saying like his kill count was like 340 or something. Like that's insane. Like he is very good at killing people and staying alive.
So he's not gonna go out that easy.
Right.
I just feel like he has that doubt, but right now he doesn't have anything to follow it up with.
Right.
So
Yeah, I
he
mean-
kind of has to believe. He's like forced to believe that he said.
Exactly,
Even though he might
yeah.
not believe it.
I think he's got a little questions. I don't know if he's gonna follow up unless like something else tips his.
He doesn't.
his
I don't
hand.
think he believes that because you have to think about like
Right.
he kept talking about his family and saying like he's not going to leave his family, and it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I know that in the next episode, it like kind of gives us history of he and Bob Lee because they were all in their uniform.
Yeah.
So I'm
Right.
excited to see that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
those
No,
are
I mean there's so much good stuff to come. Like I'm so like this. The last 2 episodes have got me so juiced on the series. Like it's again like more so than the movie. There's so much material for them to use.
Yeah.
Like
I need
it's
to
such
see
a
the
deep
movie. I've
thing.
yet to see it.
It's very good actually.
I mean, honestly, you might want to hold off.
Now,
Well,
you're
no, 'cause
right.
the show's like
no,
pretty
you're
good.
right because I don't want it to mess up for me because I might be mad. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm really
Totally,
into
yeah.
it.
No, stay. I would stay, and then maybe like after the season's done, you can watch the movie and compare.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
reverse.
But no, maybe not because I'm sure there'll be a season 2. I hope.
True.
So-
Well, I mean,
Hopefully.
okay. We'll assess
Yeah.
if you should or when you should at the end of the season. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah, if
Okay,
it's like not.
what do you guys
finished.
rate the show so far? 1 to 10.
Ooh, I mean, it's only 3 episodes, but I would give the last 2 episodes both like 9s out of 10.
Ooh, that's
They were
high.
pretty good.
That's
like
high.
I was very impressed.
Yeah, I would say like 8 or 9. They're really
Which
good.
one? You can't have both. No.
I'm gonna go with 9.
9.
Nice,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna say 8. I think it's a really good show.
Fair enough.
I'm really
yeah.
into it. This episode was not as good as episode number 2.
Fair enough.
Episode number 2, I was like
just
I
glued to
literally
the
was
screen.
just like had a big smile on my face. So
I feel like episode number 2 started revealing a lot more at once.
yeah.
Mm.
And then this one kind of played off it to kind of connect.
Yeah, I mean,
the
I'll
pieces.
give you episode 2 was very unexpected. Did
Yeah.
not think he was gonna go to jail for any
So
amount of
dramatic,
time.
right? Like 1 minute in, you're in jail. I'm like, wow,
Just like
prison.
whoa,
Like,
this
okay,
escalated quickly.
that was fast.
But no, I like how the plot is definitely thickening. It looks like next week we're gonna get some more backstory into Isaac and Bob Lee's past together in the army. Maybe they'll actually go on the Musa Quala mission, or we'll see some of it. You know, I think Isaac is put at bay. He's definitely not done. We've not seen the last of him by any means. But I think Bob Lee's effectively bought himself some time, which is, you know, the main goal.
And we can all agree
baby
that Bob
steps.
Bob Lee is such a G. We can all agree to that.
He is. He's a boss.
And I wanna be like him when I grow
as we
up.
both noted,
Yeah.
just a savage.
Savage, and
AF.
that's what he is. AF, is
Boss.
that what
Yeah.
you said?
Yep.
He is.
Well, we
He's
gotta
so
keep it
good.
PG. Well, yeah, predictions. What do you guys think is gonna happen next week? Coming up, what do you see coming?
Well, next week,
Yeah.
do you know that throws me off every time?
Really?
Last week,
Prediction lines?
no,
Get
last
in
week
the,
I was
in
like,
the zone.
what's happening
he
here?
was like,
I got nervous a little bit.
You're just like, what? Is there
I think
power?
that next week they're going to reveal more about their past together, so we can see why he really has an issue with Bob
Right.
Lee. And I don't know. I don't think they're gonna find out that he's alive. I think it's gonna take a few episodes for other people to find out that he's alive. I think Isaac and Memphis will know, but everyone else won't know. Obviously, his wife knows because at the end, I'm sure you noticed that the daughter said, "Daddy has to be a ghost," and she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay."
about the story he told
Right.
Yeah.
he was telling her.
So I think it's just gonna reveal more backstory with Johnson and Bob Lee.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that, the backstory. Mariann, what do you think?
I feel like next week's episode is gonna be more so Johnson and Bob Lee and how Bob Lee actually saved him. I think it's gonna be the story that he told, like the name he said in this episode. I forgot the one about for his daughter.
Right.
Musa Quala.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be that story specifically, just because it connects with the whole ghost thing.
Totally,
So
a lot of build up.
yeah, so I think it's gonna be that story. But I think continuing that, I feel like they're not gonna know if he's dead or alive. But I feel like Memphis is gonna start making a little more connections as to who Johnson is working with and that conspiracy and all that stuff.
Yes. I mean, yeah, it feels like next week is going to be a big backstory episode. Obviously, they showed us clips from sort of the army days. I really want them to further show us how much of a coward Isaac is. They've done a very
Nice
good job
words.
at kind
I
of
love it.
making him the bad guy and sort of painting him as a villain, which he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want more reasons to root for his demise
Yeah.
and for Bob Lee to be the bringer of that. Because it's going to happen. He's going to snipe him in some way or like, stab him
Ooh.
at close range.
I feel like they want to happen for
He's
a
gonna-
while.
yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but
it's pretty-
hopefully he
he's
gets hurt
yeah.
somehow.
I hope he gets hurt or just has like the beginning of horrible stuff to happen to him. I think it's almost more punishment for people to kind of prolong their situations where it just gets worse and worse steadily. And I
And then at
really
the
hope
end-
that for Isaac.
Boom, just gets smushed, crashing down on him.
Exactly. Once he hits rock bottom, then he can die.
Hopefully there's a big rock that just falls on him and
Squishes.
yes,
Totally.
seriously. I also think that Payne and Memphis are going to come in contact somehow.
Right.
I don't know why, but I just feel it. Just have to put that out there.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, I think the struggle between Payne and Isaac's going to continue. I really want more
Yeah.
info about Meacham, who he's working for. And, I think the conspiracy maybe comes back all the way to the Army days. Like, it'd be great or it'd be interesting if Isaac, maybe set up Bob Lee like back in the day, and that's why Donnie got killed, or maybe gave him like bad information. I don't know.
I didn't think about
That's
that.
a good one.
It's
That's
crazy.
A good one.
But
Well, we will
we
see.
know that Isaac, he's a bad seed. He's going down.
Terrible.
But yeah, we'll have to wait to see. Great show. Can't wait for next week.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Where can the people find you guys until next week?
Well, you can find me once again everywhere at Desola B, DAYSHOLAB. Check me out on YouTube too. I do a lot of videos on there. It's Desola, same way it's spelled, DAYSHOLA. Thank you.
You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat at Mariann_Shag.
Awesome. And you guys can find me, JB, at Hey John Blake. Tune in next week.
Bye,
Peace.
guys.
Thank you guys.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.